All right, my friends, welcome back to the SBL where I perfectly timed that intro, but whatever dumb monkey had the game start button did not. I am AJ0. I'm here with Mitch. Got your
What up?
second game of the night. Folks, real quick, I did not have a whole lot of opportunity to do audio level testing before this, so just let me know how game sounds, I sound, Mitch, all are in relation to each other. I'll be watching Twitch chat plenty early on here. But we are on to content. Westifus and the Boulders coming off a big win, going up against the 1-0 Big Dirk Energy. You all can't see this because enemy 1 through 5, but if you noticed, I'm just Dan, upset in Twitch chat. I'm going to let you all in on a little secret. That's because one young man, 420 Bonkcrank69, is currently on the Rift on the red side here.
Yeah, really interested to see what comes of that, and why they specifically went with this strategy after starting Dan last week. Maybe they think there's something to be gained with him against Tank Axe or a specific comp they're trying to run. But so after that last game, how many times do you think we're going to see TF banned from the red side?
A lot. Apparently, this champ's apparently super good and super easy, and we've entered into even Salvo can play it territory, so I don't think folks are going to be taking a lot of chances. I'm very happy for Westifus and especially the Boulders, who mostly all showed up in that last game. I was pretty much writing the eulogy for that team like 4.5 minutes in, where they were like, it was like 1-3, and like the deaths were bad, and I was like, Wes hasn't done anything yet, and that was called a premature reaction because it turns out they were fine, and now they get to ride high vibes into this game.
Yeah, the high vibes coming in indeed. We see the Rakan picked up for presumably Tree on the side of Big Dirk Energy, and nothing else super entertaining except the Camille band. I find interesting. I'm curious if that's a Bonkcrank special, as in they thought he would play it, but if my memory serves, I don't think Bonkcrank ever really did anything with Camille at any point.
No, I almost wonder if that was like a mid lane pick or something. I don't know, man. I don't. I'm a bit of time removed from this game. Oh, apparently Camille supports a thing. So maybe that's what it is. That actually makes way more sense because Camille
that does make a lot more sense.
Yeah, Twitch chat, I'm gonna be relying on you. You know, Mitch, I was gonna tell Tim like a few weeks ago, like, I'm really happy to cast, but also you gotta not put me with Mitch because I need to cast with somebody who's actively playing the game, right? I'm like, I don't know what Smolder does. Like, I saw Hui for the first time last game. I was like, thank God I'm just watching it. I'm like, I need active players. And then this week, Tim drops by the way, you guys are doing game 2 and game 3, and also the game 3 matchup. You have to do that every time this season because every single other member of production is on those two teams. So, yeah. Yeah, Westifus and the... It's 420 Bonkcrank 69, formerly Mahatma Grande, formerly 420 Bonkcrank 69. You guys are fucking... Oh my god. All right. Twitch chat, we're going to keep this between us.
Oh.
You were saying, Mitch.
Oh. Was I muted that whole fucking time?
No, of course not. That's ridiculous.
All right, so really professional cast here.
I'm blaming Twitch chat for this one. I straight up told them, I was like, yo guys, let me know how things are. And they let like 7 minutes of broadcast go by without realizing that there was an entire caster muted.
Hey, maybe they just thought for whatever reason that I wasn't being talkative. I think anybody that thought that's probably an idiot, but maybe they thought that.
So, let's see. I don't know. There's nothing important that was missed. Hui is banned. I'm good. Smolder is banned. I am relatively safe here going into this game. We got real attack damage heavy comp coming out of the red side here. Going to be interesting to see what they pick for the bot lane carry.
Yeah, I mean, might be part of the reason they're saving it for last. I know Respect has a lot of different things that he can flex to. The Misfortune has been kind of his go-to so far this season and in scrims, so no surprise seeing that picked up on the blue side initially. We see Urgot getting picked up by TankX, who apparently is looking to flip the script on what happened last time. But what I was saying before we realized that I hadn't been saying anything the whole time was that Boncrank getting his staple Garen kind of a given, and I also previously alluded to wondering what Big Dirk Energy was going to be doing with Boncrank. Maybe the answer is some Garen bullshit. I don't know what that is, but maybe that is
Boncrank is
the
such a
thought.
just perfect SBL player because he's a one trick. So it's like you want to ban his one trick, but he's not even good enough at tricking that one to like justify the ban. So he's like the ultimate. Apparently got a bug in there, which doesn't shock me. Spectator client worse than when the SBL started. So we'll get Blab back here in a sec. But no, like I'm trying to think of a good comparison here. Like the amount of discussion you have around Bonkrank's Garen, like he's by far the worst player you will spend the most time talking about ban phase against.
That is probably the most accurate comment I think has ever been made about him.
You know, the commissioner's been kind of silent. Maybe I should just make them play Dan. That would be kind of fair. Yeah, I know I better not trash talk Blab. He's listening. Oh my God, we have all these players in Emerald too. Like, this game is so different.
I know.
I always say you can commentate League a year removed from playing, but 2 years removed is where it's like enough has changed that you're really starting to do a disservice to the game, and that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Do you know about all the map changes and all that stuff? Are you at least that caught up?
I've watched 4 SBL games, Mitch.
Oh, perfect. You're solid.
And
you're golden.
I actually have the tab still up. It's a League wiki tab on what the Void Grubs do. So I got caught up to speed on that during the last game.
Excellent.
And Smolder and Way are banned, and so I'm pretty confident here. And I'm not shocked Wesifus and the Boulders playing old school champs. That's these are old school players. These are a lot of Season 1 League of Legends players on that roster. Like almost the whole team actually, which is pretty impressive. A lot of fucking
yeah. This is a pretty old roster. We had Garen in the first half over here. Asol, Way, Smolder, and Malphite getting the ban. That's right. You know, if it makes you feel any better, it probably doesn't, but I have literally no idea what Smolder does. Haven't the foggiest.
On our fears.
I think Smolder's really good. That's about all I know.
That's the important part to know. All right, so we're getting back to where we were. The Gragas and the Nami rounding out the old school comp, and what do we see? Last picked for Big Dirk Energy with, as we were talking about before, kind of the Yasuo, the Garen, the Galio.
I don't like this team. This is such a SBL, especially with all the time to evaluate. Your only damage is AD. I think this is going to be. Ugh.
It's so funny because you look to the other side of the rift and you see for like I guess the Gragas mid is a little bit odd, but for the most part a pretty straightforward team comp, a known top laner, bot, jungle, support, etc. And meanwhile we have whatever the fuck is happening for Big Dirk Energy.
Yeah, I don't like this. You know, you get like one of these, like week 1, where you forget to draft the right amount of damage. You're allowed to make that mistake once, like as a league. This shouldn't be happening in week 2. We already had this game last week. This is like tripling down on it. And
you know, it's Big Dirk Energy was in that game. They were the actual damage dealing side of that matchup, but they were in that game. Maybe honest, they just
if you
thought they could do it better.
Yeah, if you just told me Big Dirk Energy was bad at drafting and that was like their Achilles heel, that's not like an Achilles heel. That's like an Achilles everything from the waist down. But if you just told me, like, looking at the players on that roster, like, oh, they just can't draft, I would be like, oh, yeah, no, obviously, that makes a lot of sense. So we'll see here. It's still, there's a 6.5 games left this season, so like they got plenty of time to get this corrected, but not great so far.
So what do you think the chance is this is just some big brain comp that our puny little brains can't even comprehend?
Like, it has a lot of playmaking, so like everything
Does
you would analyze about this game, at the end of the day, one team could just win every fight between minute 7 and minute 17 and nothing else matters. But it's honestly, like, enough teams, like enough players in the SBL are timid enough that they don't just giga throw games like that. And so if your win condition is, I hope the other team shits their pants, like that's just not, poop's not reliable enough as a win condition, and that's
it's really not. I mean, hey, any game is throwable at any moment in time, right? This is the SBL, but ugh.
Also, real quick, Twitch chat, if I could just get a check, how is my audio level compared to everything else? Am I too quiet or am I good? I have like dramatically different audio levels on this preset than I have on my Baddie Smash presets, and I'm just hoping that it's working. You know, I have trust
Yeah,
issues
fingers
because
crossed.
they did let you talk for not at all, because I talked for the entire first 5 minutes.
I really wonder what people were thinking when you kept posing questions and like just stop
Well,
talking for like
that's
20 seconds at a
real
time.
stereotypical Swift. He's pitching it to himself. It's like he's playing a little bit of pocket pool on stream right now. Of course he is. Like, I don't know. That's probably what they were all thinking.
Yeah, I see it become louder from Cax, so
I think he's trolling.
I also assume, you know, like I don't trust any of these guys.
Bro, I was real sad I wasn't in that last game. I would have loved being the streaming about Tuesday not having items at level 1. I was like so excited. I just came back with like a glass of water. I sat down, and the first thing I see, like before I even see the game time, I see Tuesday running with no items. Absolutely.
What a way to start the night. Honestly, just it feels right, you know? It
Yeah,
feels like something that I simultaneously never expect and also completely know is going to happen at some point.
SBL is back, baby. All right, so we got 1 TP on the side of the Big Dirks, 2 from Wesifus and the Boulders. Nothing too shocking here. I'm pretty sure the in-game sound match their volume at 100. Absolutely nuts. I think
I can't handle my drink.
everything is good here. So we are at 16, 17, 18 seconds on the timer.
I am right there with you.
That like game time and hiccups seems like it's a little bit better this season, but we might not have time to talk about that because Big Dirk Energy is barreling straight into Bestless One's field division.
Ooh.
And I hope for a level 1 is gone, as Sarah should be far enough out there. Yeah, Salvo gets out just fine. All right, let me finish rearranging. Wait, Salvo doesn't have items.
Oh my god!
I just ran to for so.
He doesn't. Does he realize it?
No, he's a fucking
No, he's
idiot.
he's still just there. Oh my god!
Joey!
See,
Joey, you have to know!
You immediately caster cursed them. You said all they needed was to do was shit the bed. Does level 1 laning without items count for shitting the bed?
Oh, you did the Respected tree too.
Oh no. He's not going back.
No, he has zero fucking idea. He's riding so high because he played a good game.
he's just blind to the world. He just doesn't care. You know what? Maybe he's playing the long
Joey
mental
noticed.
game.
Joey just noticed. Oh, that's the worst time too. Because now you're like, you literally don't know what to do here. You're like, do I leash? Do I give up the leash? Do I show up late to lane? Like, you lose so many things here. But if you're lucky, Big Dirk Energy is like, holy shit, Salvo's doing something crazy. Joey needs to not show. Like, just don't show until Salvo's closer. That's looking at
Joey
up here.
And Joey got knocked out by Xmas Tree.
Yeah, at least he's up against Yasuo, who can't do shit at level 1 there. But
True.
Like, you need to deny information there. That's more important than the 1 or 2 creeps worth of EXP you're going to get there. Even though, you know, you have the pancake in your inventory, they probably would have noticed, but...
Look, Swift, you're talking about maximizing and playing intelligently for a situation where one of the team members forgot to buy items before going to lane. I think those two lines of thought are kind of direct opposition with one another.
Everyone always says, like, if you watch too much, like, weird snuff porn, it turns into the only thing that can get you off. That's the only thing that can get my juices flowing in League anymore. It's like, what are these game states that you've never once strategized for? Like, it's 127 and you just realized you don't have items. What's the optimal way for your lane mate to play? Now I'm thinking.
I'm really looking forward to these large lads in the mid lane fighting this out. Though I think...
Yeah, we heard y'all like top lane, so we gave you a second one. Yeah, this is fucking great.
No, it's perfect. Though I will say, I don't think I've ever seen Respect on Yasuo. Yeah, I don't know how he is on that.
I'm not shocked. Like, he definitely likes his big kill playmakers, but I think we're gonna have a gank here in the top lane. Tankax is noticing this a little late, and Ivern's running his stupid long robot legs up there. The snare is gonna be free. The bush is down. Hits him. And this damage, it's coming out so slow, but Tankax still has nowhere to go. And Bong Crank with the first blood, just like we all predicted. Dan, enjoy Twitch chat.
Hey, like you said, we were talking about earlier, he's the worst player that you'll talk about spending a ban for, and that's why, because he's just competent enough. Oh, knockup coming out of Respect onto Albino Joe, who does get the bubble and is able to get away, but the exhaust going down into Seville, a lot of damage being traded back to Respect. Xmas3 getting in with the knockup again. John getting in, gets the kill onto Salvo, and up 2-0 for kills for Big Dirk Energy.
That's so rough for Salvo, because I was just about to comment on how he was playing so confident. He held his summoners because he thought he was fine. He thought the damage was done, and then he got hit again, and it was like, oh, now it's actually too late for me to flash out. And he
Root coming out of 30. The taunt landing onto him, the knockup onto Splinter takes a lot of damage and has to back off with Xmas3 roaming up. Ooh, but did Blab overstep? He gets walled. He gets casket.
Yeah, he knows he's fine. Doesn't even think
safe.
about blowing his summoners there.
He's a big, lumpy gargoyle.
Yeah, his team was close, so there was no dive happening, especially this early, and he knows the matchup. They're tanks.
Respect in all chat. I missed that earlier. Forget items, Salvo.
See, Joey, this is why you had to have Salvo's back. You can't show. Now Respect is going to troll, and Salvo is trollable.
Honestly, that's probably what led to the kill. It was the mental.
Mental does start at minute 0.
It really does.
So that's that kill in the bot lane. We'll see here what that turns into. Obviously, bot lane. If you're playing Yasuo carry, like, that is a snowball point, so it's going to be a huge point of emphasis this game. And especially, you know, with the Galio in the mid, I expect we're going to see a lot of repeat pressure in the bot lane. Oh, Best is good
call
with
there. The flash and the ult, just a solo kill out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was like just an incredible amount of greed from Blab to think he was fine to stay there for that long without backing.
God, Tree looks so comfy on this Rakan. I know it's one of his go-tos. I know he is so happy to abandon the Maokai and not have to play it because he fucking hates support Maokai. He could not be more thrilled to be on a skill support champion right now.
Yeah, and honestly, this is not going to be good. Salvo is just fine. What am I talking about?
Yeah. No, I think it's just a lot of zip zap zooming.
Yeah,
Splinter's able to grab the Void Grubs up top.
Yeah, little win there for West of Us and the Boulders, who were, you know, they were down early in the last game in the bot lane in particular, and it absolutely did not matter. So we'll see here what they can do with it. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Tankax, despite dying and being down pretty far at early level, has got himself a nice CS lead. You know, for 7 minutes in here.
Yeah, not bad. Sitting at 9, probably about to be a little bit. Oh, the flash, and he's able to get the execute on him. Tankax is playing a little Fitz, not afraid
That
enough.
was actually a beautiful bait out of Bonkrank. What am I
Wow.
saying? He's like, oh, if I walk towards River, he wants to like greed this. He's feeling good in the lane because he's hitting all these CS. I'm gonna step towards River, guaranteed that he wants to step up to get this whole wave before it crashes, and then I turn, I catch him with his pants down, and I slap him in the dick. And ladies and gentlemen, dick status is slapped. That is going to turn into a nice
dick
dragon
is probably
here.
harder than when he's playing Mahjong right now.
It's, yeah, I think his blood is flowing right now. As best this is maybe in some no man's land here, just kind of going to vision check. He's going to ult to disengage. He's going to take a long time to die here, but he is going to die. A second kill. Oh, it goes on to Squeck too. That is unlucky.
That is so good for Big Dirk Energy. They are, you know, I mean, it's the other thing that you talked about, right? Every engagement, every team fight situation starting from 7 to 17 minutes, and we really see them somehow turning on the gas in the middle of all
Yeah,
of this.
this is really where the mental is on the clock for Westifus and the Boulders. You know, these are a lot of very veteran League of Legends players. They need to not start tilting here because they think that they're down. They are down 700, 800, 900 gold. Like, they're really not down anything that tangible. It's very feasible to just slow this game down, stall things out, don't fall too far behind, but they have to make sure they actually commit and do that. As Bonkrank is gonna just, if his ult was up there, I didn't look at his ults before I looked at the health bars. I got too excited.
You're getting yourself ready for some more crank, some more Garen top, some more classic SBL play.
Yeah, he's even got 30 backing him up here. They really want to try to do something, but I think there's going to be nothing available right now.
Yeah, not too much. In the when the minions were previously under Bonkrank's tower, he did lose quite a bit of CS. He wasn't able to get any of the 7 minions that were sitting under his tower there, so he falls a little bit further behind in the CS race. However, we do see, because of the kills, up almost 1k gold as of right now, up the dragon. They do they do have the voidlings on the other side, but I think you're
if especially if West
pretty
shows
happy
on
right
bot
now.
side, like I think 30 could look into diving something top. This will be interesting.
I think Wes is going to be spotted out roaming bot. Here he is pinged. That lets Blab go into on Bestus 1, get a little bit of trading back and forth. And let's see if 30 does anything on the top lane here like you were talking about. Doesn't seem like a whole lot of anything though.
Really being patient, letting this wave crash, but like that Bonkrank ult is almost going to be the kill on its own, and now you can see 30 is starting to path that way, I think. Ay. Don't matter.
He wants it so bad. He wants it so goddamn bad.
This team is going to have such an interesting dilemma if Bonkrank can play good this season, because Dan, like, oh, we don't have time for that, because Bestus 1 is fucked city, population Gragas yet again, has a flash, he's going to try to outplay us, actually does get his way over to Splitter, forces the flash out of Blab, and now Splitter going for knockups. Both sides of the red team flashing, now everyone is flashed. Splitter gets taught that we're all walking out of this one. Now Yasuo, can Respect find anything? The answer is going to be no. We got a silly little skirmish, no kills.
What a gross fight. Oh, the root from 30 landing on a Joey, but Joey being way too far away. Nothing up on the bot lane. Nobody's gonna get much of anything from that.
Yeah, just a lot of summoners blown. That could be pretty impactful, especially as we are a few minutes, 2 minutes away from the next dragon fight. All of those mid, all of those jungle flashes are going to be blown. So if a skirmish breaks out, the big winner in all of that is Sal, though. There are just way less people that can flash onto him now.
Very true. We do still have the semi-global Galio. While Squeck getting a lot of gold here in the bot lane, getting able to take another plate and a half, pretty much uncontested.
Yeah, just popping over to gold here. Respect is up about 900 gold currently, which is going to be feeling real good on the Yasuo. We'll see if he can turn that into any more.
And One thing I want to call out real quick, Tankax previously up 18 CS over Bonkrank is now down by 1. Waves are in about a neutral position. However, we have a fight breaking out. Savo's going to get got on by Xmas Tree. A good ult from Joey landing onto both of them, buying himself some time. Savo getting damage traded back onto Respect. Director camera taking us up to a fight by the Void Grubs where Master Splinter's getting dicked by 30. They're going to get one of the Void Grubs, and ultimately the Garen gets another kill. 3-0-0 for the top lane Garen.
I didn't see the setup there because I was too busy watching the fight in bot lane, but they were so hard committed to a 2v3 there somehow. I'm not sure what they thought they were going to have the backing of in there. Maybe Tankax had a back out early. I'm not sure exactly how he got there, but either way, a disaster for Westifus and the Boulders.
Yeah, across the board, not really able to get anything. I think they got the Ignite out of Tree on that last engagement, but ultimately that doesn't really matter. You have the top lane Garen kind of taking over the game.
And I've been trying to say this for 12 goddamn minutes. I'm so surprised we see Bonkrank in here because I thought Dan played really well last week. Like I thought he was kind of back in form after
Ooh, Respect going in, getting the knockup, getting the ult on Joey. That might be enough damage. He dodges the bubble, but ultimately Splinter is there to answer. Respect's going to have a little bit of damage traded back, but not enough. The shutdown crucially going on to Salvo.
Yeah, finally a break going the way of Westifus and company here. They really, really needed something like that. And now they have a beautiful flank that seems like it's going to catch Big Dirk Energy off guard, but they're not going to be able to. No, Wes always goes forward, but I don't think they're going to have the tools to chase anything here. They're going to presumably just disengage back towards the dragon. Meanwhile, as Tankax, he's 0-2, does not give a fuck, forcing the flash out of Bonkrank.
He's got that strong mental ready. 30 bringing
this is
Daisy
big. Watch
in
the
here,
smite.
trying to get a little bit of distraction. Tree going in with the knockup, hitting 2 of them, but the ult response from Salvo is going to shred the entire team. Blab drops down.
Yeah, but
Respect is there to
Squax-
answer the kill. Back onto Joey. The spin to win. Bonkrank coming in the top lane, taking Tankax down to half, and I don't know why I sound so excited.
Oh,
Nothing's really gonna happen
it's
there.
so big that Respect only got 1 on the cleanup there, but so much happened. Dragon was at 6th health after the smite, but West still got the secure anyways. I'm not sure if he smote seconds or if he secured it with an auto, but 6 health, but that Dragon crucially going over to Westifus and the Boulders. And we said the win condition for fucking Big Dirk Energy is to just outplay every skirmish from like 7 to 17 minutes, right? It's Bonkrank!
The fadeaway ult!
He's only 2 deaths away from the ideal score line, and by God, I think he's gonna do it. But Westifus and the Boulders, the Dragon is so huge because now that win condition of just win mid-game is so much further away in terms of, getting to that 4 Dragon pressure, which is such a common pressure point you would see a team like Big Dirk Energy go for. They do get the top tier 1 though, so that is going to let them start roaming
in the bot
things.
lane
But
here.
yeah, I don't know. He's running in the bot lane. Blab is in there, and now Salvo was frontlining. Sarah Fortune hits the ground. The teleports are coming in, and there's nowhere to go but out on this one. Tankax showing up. It's going to be a 1-for-1 here, and I think that's going to be it. Will we get the tummy time? It's not looking like it. So a 1-for-1, as well as a top side is a Rift Herald gets taken. Is the trade there.
Honestly, that is so huge out of 30 being ready to counter with the other neutral
My God,
objective.
Bonkrank is still just shoving it.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh,
That's a decent percentage of damage done already.
Yeah, it'll be some nice damage. I thought that tower was a little further along when the camera finally cut there, but this game has accelerated very rapidly.
Now, one big thing, and we've talked about it in other games with the Rift Herald this season, is the lower floor and the higher ceiling of it. And 30, not being one of the more experienced junglers, I'm really looking to see if he's going to be able to use it in the most impactful manner, if they're going to be able to secure, maybe that mid lane turret, maybe finish off that top lane turret, but really going to be looking to him to make sure that he gets what he needs out of that ult coming out of Best. Just won a lot of ult for 9 circulation, trading back though, gets the knockup, gets the 5th slam. and I think they're just going to walk away. They're just going to
Yeah,
walk away.
and West
Sweck
just-
looking for Master Splinter, though.
Super
Ooh,
misplay
but
in the
Tank
bot
Axe is here to
lane.
back him up, but the knockup for Tree does hit Master Splinter. He's going to go down. Respect trading back onto Tank Axe. Tank Axe getting knocked up. He's trying to seek the safety of his tower, but ultimately he is not going to get there.
Oh.
Respect getting another kill. 5-2-1 on the Yasuo.
And that is just honestly inexcusable if you're West. You cannot give up such a free kill there. The worst place it could have been goes onto the Yasuo where the Rift Herald is down. Now Bestis is joining his friend, running it down. We got the little grumblings even coming at the tower, although they're not going to get there. But this Shelly is easily going to get a crash on a tier 3.
And we talked about how necessary it was for them to be able to get good utilization out of the Rift Herald. They absolutely did, securing the tier 2, getting a shitload of damage on the tier 3, and taking advantage of it with that absolute misplay of a move from Master Splinter.
And it's so rough because, like, if the other team has to beat you in the mid game, like, make it hard for them. But West just does something fucking stupid. And it blows this game wide open for Big Dirk Energy, who are now sitting on a 5,000 gold lead. Look at how big this Yasuo is getting. I mean, look, oh, Bonkrag! No, he's up 3,000 gold!
Yeah,
oh.
And a 450 gold bounty sitting on his head. I really do hope he gets exactly 2 deaths and nothing else for the rest of the game, though. We can only dream.
And like I said, this is why he's the worst player you spend this much time talking about in the draft. Because now you have to prepare. Like, oh, is Bonkrang playing? Do we have to ban his Garen? Will we just run it down and get cranked on if we don't?
I think you have your answer right in front of you here, Swift.
But then every top laner's like, no, I can outplay it. Like, if I were a top laner, I played top lane once. I would be looking at this like, oh, I can outplay it.
Joey.
Just like Joey looks at every situation and is like, nah, I can outplay it. But he does, which is good. Doesn't even need a summoner there. Although he's going to face check, and you got to be careful. That Bonkrang is going to... Joey's dead. He is so dead. Oh, Bonkrang greens the ult, gets knocked up, gets hit by all the CC, secures the kill, and now Wes running for his little life. I hope you have a life insurance policy. You leave something behind to your family because you have nothing left of yourself. This game is... falling apart. Good choice from the bestest one to go cram it down top lane, see if you can crash that tier 2. But oof.
The most important thing that we're seeing out of Big Dirk Energy right here is when they recognize that they had that pivotal moment, that snipe on bot lane, they immediately hit the gas. They are not relenting, they are pushing their advantage, and they're not just going to sit around and wait for the game to end. They are constantly trying to get something, and they are up 6k gold.
Yeah, they've played this one really well. One thing these players have going for them is they will attempt to make plays. They're not a team that's going to get the 2,000 gold lead and not do anything for 10 minutes like a lot of SBL teams tend to. But we do see a lot of bodies showing up in this Baron. I don't think there's actually a chance at something, but Bestis is going to maybe look for a pick. Bonkrang's pretty big, but they're going to knock him in. This could be a shutdown, and who does it go to? It's going to go over to Master Splinter. That's definitely what Wes wanted.
Whether or not it's what the team needed.
But that is, again, anything that stalls this game out. We've said it, it's only 5,000. 5,000 is it's a sizable lead. It is definitely not insurmountable. And you're going to see here, they take a mid lane tier 1. It's suddenly a lot smaller. It's a objective bounty. It's a lot of map pressure.
It's huge.
There's
it's
still only
huge.
2 dragons on the side of BDE, which is also really major here.
I gotta imagine that was a bit of a humbling experience for Bonkrang, just kind of thinking he can go wherever, check whatever he wants, and then to find 4 members of Wesifis and just,
if I had to power rank,
reality.
like if I did a power ranking of every player in the SBL and how they perform when they're 6-0, Bonkrang would be number 24, I think. As Tank Axe, I think, is going to walk out of this one. But Respect, you would never greed. Never in your life, would you? Not even once. I have never seen you do this before. Gives a fat shutdown over to Salvo, and now look at the fat Nami wave. Gonna be disengaged here. Salvo gets out with a sliver of health, which means he was playing effectively. And again, the game is stalling down. That's a big shutdown onto Misfortune here. Salvo gonna go back. He is, despite everything, Salvo's only down, you know, less than 1,000 gold on Respect, and he's obviously going to scale, you know, like an MF.
Lab gonna find Tank Axe.
There's a lot of friends in the neighborhood, though.
Oh, he misses! He misses! Bon Crank's here to back him up, though.
Yeah, but here comes a lot of members. I think they're gonna see Wes in turn.
So we're really seeing the other side of the coin with what we were just talking about, with having a team that has some individually skilled players who are happy to kind of push the envelope, get themselves in situations where they can make plays. We just saw 2 people die, get caught out for not a whole lot of gain of anything, just because they were greeting for a little bit of vision, greeting for a little bit of extra pressure. And I think that is something that's going to be a characteristic of Big Dirk energy throughout the season, is reaching a little bit too far.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a team of players who you can definitely see them getting too hypey, and that's, you know, been the case here. It's so interesting because I think if in pregame you said 23 minutes in they're gonna be up 3K gold, you'd be like, okay, that's pretty nice. But the way they got here, like to have been up as big as they were, to have thrown it a bit with a few bad skirmishes, and just because League of Legends is such a momentum-based game. When you have the ball rolling, you really need to take it all the way, and Westifus and the Boulders have stopped that ball from rolling for a little bit. We'll see here if Big Dirk Energy can create something in this Baron to blow this game back open, or if this game's going to stall. I love Vestas putting down the split pressure here.
Yeah, really trying to get back that map pressure that they had. Big Dirk Energy kind of grouping up mid and saying, well, we can take this last, we might be able to damage the turret a little bit here, get some additional pressure in the mid lane.
I love this because this is the duality of one team has no wave clear and one team has no ranged auto attacks. It is going to be Bestus does take that bot tier 1, so that's a little something here. But we got 15 seconds away from Dragon respawning. If we look at gold in the inventory, no one's sitting at too much. So Big Dirk Energy, they could take the easy rotation over to Dragon, but they have all the vision top side. They're going to try to back off towards Baron, and they're going to dare a relatively squishy team to come and face check, and they are going to start it. I really like this. This is melting pretty quickly. But Wes is going to get here in time. This is going to be a fight in the pit. And Baron, it's season 2024. They've told me that the Baron does a lot of damage. Look at the health. Salvo ulting across, but he gets interrupted. The Baron stops. Tank Axe! Tank Axe, are you kidding me? Steals the Baron, steals the lives of everybody on Big Dirk Energy. What a stupid fight!
Oh my God, that could not have gone worse. That could not have been more catastrophic for Big Dirk Energy. It really looked like there was just some miscommunication with Renai's circulation, thinking that he was going to be able to buy enough time to buy them off. And was securing the 8s on the top lane. Is that going to be the end? We do have members coming back within the next 10 seconds.
It's not the ends, but this game,
3.
Yeah, no, this is not the ends, but this is a blown open game. They're going to get Dragon as a consolation prize on the tail end of this. And I love it out of Tank Axe. He subscribed to the I'm Just Dan school of it doesn't matter if you do nothing good for 24 minutes, as long as the one thing you do is really good. And that was just peak top lane play. And now you see here just a super late, like there's no chance to contest this. You're just hoping they didn't start Dragon on tempo. And there it is, 2-2 on the Dragon. It's going to be a reset. Look at the gold here. A lot of gold in the inventories for Wesifus and the Boulders.
Huge, huge, huge play out of Wesifus, and just a collapse really out of Big Dirk Energy. I mean, let's see if they can recover from it. As we said before, the game is by no means over. This is absolutely still maybe another 17 minutes of purgatory for me and Swift, but let's see what they can do, or if Wesifus can really push this advantage with that inhib being down in the middle.
Yeah, really curious to see what the tactics are going to look like here. They do have Tank Axe currently splitting off from the team. This is going to just be a long setup phase. You know, they kind of did the damage on the front end with the Baron here, so they don't really have to do anything on the back end, and obviously this will have been worth. So I don't think they want to take any too hard of risks here. Give Wes a chance to rotate up. Your team is very collapsible right now.
Ooh, oh, they get him with the Scryer's Bloom, and they know that they were setting up there.
Yeah, Joey was a
Tree and
little...
Respect, they're not going to be able to turn on him quickly enough. They're just going to have to walk away.
I think Big Dirk, if they had cast their view, they would have engaged there. But obviously with Fog of War, it was a little too scary to chase things in. But that has allowed Tank to set up the pressure. Wes is going to join him. They're going to go take another tier 2 here. And now the options are kind of running out here for Big Dirk Energy.
Yeah, you really think their best bet at this point is to hopefully just find... You gotta imagine they have to find some sort of an engage, some sort of a team fight that they can just really swing things in their favor, because they do not have the... the ability to really play out of the pressure that is coming out of Wesifis right now. They have to defend. Oh, they're converging here, though. X-Mystery going in, getting the knock-up. Respect getting a good hold onto Albino. Joey's going to chase him down. Has good energy, but Bestis one sitting there with Bonkrank, able to get way too much damage back on the tree. 30's going to hit him with the knock-up, though. Bonkrank is going to get the ult and not kill it. Respect getting the kill. Meanwhile, the inhibitor in the bot lane is going down. Renai Circulation slowly chasing down Salvo, but they have to back and stop Tankax and Splinter
honestly,
from taking the base.
That was worth it for Wesifis and the Boulders, because we're 2+ minutes till the Dragon or the Baron respawn. It's not like you're going to lose a major objective for taking that trade. All you did was give up 2 kills to get a second inhibitor, and especially that bot side inhibitor, that opens up so much pressure when this Baron respawns here. I think Wesifis and the Boulders, you say that was fine.
Absolutely, you say that was fine. That was a perfectly good trade for them. Obviously, if you do that without having 2 deaths, that'd be even better. But I think they are more than happy.
Thing that won't show up in the stat sheet, but some really nice micro out of Joey in the middle of that, who should have died in half a second, but managed to live for like 5. And just the amount of extra time he wasted there really kind of sealed the deal on that to like be there. There's no chance of Big Dirk Energy getting back and defending their base or making a decision here, because they're committed. They have to keep going. Respect is a limp little noodle of a Yasuo at this point. Just does not have it in him to pop the Nami as fast as I expected. And I don't... At some point there's going to be a 5v5, and I don't know how Big Dirk Energy wins it.
No, I really don't know if they're going to. I mean, we're really seeing the again, the flip side of the other thing that we talked about, where they had 7 to 17 minutes, they had that, and then maybe a little bit into the 20s at mid game to really do something, and that's when they dropped the ball. Now you have this team that doesn't have the good damage profile, that doesn't really have anybody that's going to be able to go in and insta blow up anybody. They are longer engaged, they're scrappy, but you really gotta hope for them that they're able to find a good angle, because I don't think they're going to win straight up. And speaking of angles, X-Mystery going in out of Tankax, who has to flash out. Respect's chasing him down, got damage going down, but also not really that much damage. More damage coming back out of Tankax, but the ult coming in from Galio is going to land. Urgot dies before the Galio gets there. Now they are up by 1. Daisy going in onto Bestis one, but X-Mystery and Wes and everybody else in the backline fighting against each other. Bonkrank trying to get damage back. Salvo finally coming in, shredding the team. Bonkrank's trying to heal, get damage down. Bestis one is going to get hit by 30 from outside the bounce. Renai Circulation getting with Bonkrank to finally take down Salvo. And an ace for Big Dirk Energy.
Why did they fight? Tankax was dead and had a chance to like write you a notarized letter, which arrived by USPS saying, "Comrades, apologies, I have been caught." And they didn't read the line right under that said, "Please don't fight 4v5.
They wanted to avenge him, Swift.
That was stupid.
Yeah, that was pretty stupid. Yeah.
That's the fucking SBL, baby. Bad players playing bad League of Legends.
Oh man. Tell you what though, that was a fun sequence to yell about. That was a
It was
good
great
time.
because I let you watch the main fight, and I just watched Salvo MF strut all the way down mid lane, getting chased. And I was like, I wonder if they can just live just long enough for him to come on this flank. Just pure ADC brain in that whole fight. It did not matter because Salvo is not, just wasn't able to get the right ult that would have been a game changer there.
He almost did have it. Everybody just posturing for this Baron pit. Bonkrank trying to clear out the wave of supers, crashing in on the bot lane, and Renai Circulation trying to do his best on the top. The Galio ult almost back up, but Wesifis grouping as 4, walking up the Baron pit. And they see, they see that Big Dirk Energy is a little bit split up, but...
Yeah, they're just playing the vision game right here, the tug of war. They're not going to commit to anything. It's too sketchy. They really want those creeps. Oh, Bonkrank doesn't have a teleport. That actually is the play that they're looking for, but it looks like they really want to see if they can crash mid lane, but this could open up a big flank. Watch Galio ult. Watch the Ivern.
They're converging in. Ivern coming in off the flank. Galio standing by. The Galio ult is down. Joey's ult is already down.
No,
Salvo gets
Salvo.
his ult down, but he gets silenced by the Garen. He's not going to be able to do enough. A double kill coming up for Renai Circulation. Resquack taking down Master Splinter, and Joey and Bestest One running into the jungle, and Big Dirk Energy presumably immediately going to the Baron.
Yeah, that was just an absolutely...
Or just mid lane?
No, they're going to go to
okay.
Baron. They're going to... Somebody's going to
I
realize
was like,
it.
what? You don't have a fucking wave. What are you doing?
Just the horrific team fight from Wesifis and the Boulders. Honestly, I'm sure I can watch the VOD back and disagree with this, but I'm not going to do that, so I'm going to just make the bold claim that not a single player did a thing well during that team fight, because it's just, there's only one, you knew where Ivern was coming from. Like, you knew where the flank would be, terrible angles on the ults. I guess Joey had a good wave during the ults, or during the fight, but it didn't matter because of how the setup happened to it all. There was no disengaging that. Just no one was near the MF. No one had a chance of.
It really looked like they said, let's push mid and bait them into attacking us, and then we turn. And then everybody said, okay, but which way do we turn? And then they said, fuck, and died.
Yeah, that was rough to watch. Rough to watch. It would not have happened on an AJS Zero led team. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, you would have already lost the game.
Okay, now I would be in the finals. Thank you very much. And to get to the finals, you got to get a nice, 7-2, 8-1 regular season where you look really good to ultimately Dallas Cowboys your way out when it counts. Very, very different than throwing regular season games.
Yeah, no, that is fair.
This
as
really
they say, here we go.
Been the full, I hate to say full spectrum, but this has really been the full spectrum of SBL in the span of 35 minutes.
This has been just phenomenal, and now we see both teams just kind of running down past each other. Bonkrank trying to ward them off, getting damage back on the Bestest One, and the other 4 from both of the other teams kind of converging on the bot lane. Bestest One making his way back towards mid, but with the Baron buff, Big Dirk Energy being able to push in. The taunt from Renai Circulation trying to land on the tank axe, doesn't get it. Gets some good damage with the winds onto Salvo. But, yeah, they're just... You know what it really feels like Big Dirk Energy could use is some ranged
Could you imagine if Resquack was like, it doesn't even have to be that long range, just like a Kaisa or something like that.
Imagine if it was Caitlyn.
Lucian. Oh no, I'm not even gonna dare to imagine something that long range. So we got Baron.
Oh, what a bubble out of Joey, preventing Renai Circulation from coming in.
Yeah, still got another minute on this Baron buff here, so they really want to try to crack the space. Obviously, they have not taken an inhibitor yet, which is the big thing here. And 30 kind of getting chucked out.
30 getting hit by the casket!
That was a beautiful snipe out of Bestest to know that little man was poppable. We got 15 seconds on the Dragon spawn, but I don't know if Wesifis and the Boulders are going to react to this quite as quickly as they need to. I think they need to really pick up the pace here, try to rush down to that Dragon. Don't let Big Dirk Energy get the soul on the way out here, but some good pressure, keeping the Baron creeps crashing here. They're buying the time they need to try and get
looks like he's trying to flank.
Wes is thinking what I'm thinking. He's like, we gotta force this by any means necessary. Tank is so deep. Joey from downtown, the wave is gonna knock off one, and finally the damage is coming out. Here comes the Galio ult, but everyone is taking the MF ult. Only it's one. Oh, Garen, young tank, what? That was the worst teleport in League of Legends history. That was literally the single worst teleport. What? You had no health. He had all of. I'm literally, I'm not even processing what Bonkrank is doing right now because my eyes, it's like it just overloaded my system. That was so bad. You play a video game for 15 years hoping just once you will see something as bad as that teleport was. Tankax, you're a really sweet boy and I like you. Don't watch this VOD back.
Oh boy. You remember when I said 20 minutes ago that we might still be stuck here in, or sorry, 12 minutes ago when I said we might still be stuck here in purgatory. This game is going to be it's an entertaining purgatory, don't get me wrong, but I feel like we're going to be here for a while yet, my guy.
We're only 1,300 gold apart at 38 minutes. Oh man, the scriptwriters knew this one was gonna be bad, so they brought in the big guns for the commentary. God bless that.
The scriptwriters were fucking drunk when they did this one.
All right, so game state here. So it's we're not gonna even hit this Dragon Soul till 42 minutes.
I love that sentence.
So
look at the top. 3 dragons apiece. Less than 1.5k gold separates them. 8 turrets, 3 pointlings, 1 Baron each.
Yeah, so the big thing at this point is obviously not so much the gold difference between
no
players, but like who's at 6 items. Like Respect has been at 6 items for a bit here. Him getting more gold not going to matter. Who isn't Bills? Tankax, you know, the junglers are still working on some stuff. Supports, obviously.
We see.
By the way, that's
Respect in the bot lane.
He knows that he has exhaust, right?
Oh, Respect meeting Tankax with Renai circulation.
I wonder,
but they're just going to try and push down this turret.
Yeah,
they're able to get the
try
turret.
to threaten the end, and look at Wesifus and the boulders. They have to beeline out. I don't think anyone's going to be able to interrupt those recalls. And now this is such an intense game of cat and mouse. Respect is in the base. Gragas is in the base. Does not have a teleport available. So, oh man.
One important thing that Big Dirk Energy has going for them right now is they have 2 inhibitors down from Wesifus.
Was so caught up in like all the shit happening a couple of minutes ago. I totally didn't realize Baron spawns in 1 second. It was not up when they were posturing there. So there was no like they could try to trade Baron for things. Like they were just trying to get vision in advance. Oh, that is so rough. Because now it's the 2 inhibitors furthest from Baron creating the pressure. Oh, man.
Yeah, they've really got him in a bad spot here. Bestest one going in, trying to get the ult onto Bonkrank, does get the flash out, but Bonkrank's just going to be able to walk around into River, ready to re-engage. Wesifus grouped up as 4 in the left side of the blue, and they again have to recall to deal with the bullshit that's facing them down in the bot lane.
Yeah, they got to just get a teleport in there and try to hope for the best here. Joey did blow his Shirelia's there, and I think they're just going to have to give the Baron. They're way too far out here. They're going to play this for a fight closer to base, I think.
Yeah, they have to give it up. There's not much they're going to be able to do. And with Baron, 2 inhibitors down, all 5 team members alive, this is I'm not going to say it's comfy, but I think you're pretty happy with where you now end up after being really depressed for the last 17 minutes for Big Dirk Energy.
And despite that, I just keep thinking, like, also, if there's a straight up 5v5 front to back in both directions, the team with Misfortune's probably going to win the fight.
Probably, unless she gets silenced by the Garen again.
Yeah, they gotta play with some peel, and Splinter, he doesn't want to wait too long for this. Salvo was playing way too far forward, and if you want an experienced AD carry play, you are not gonna get it here. Big Dirt Energy shredding through Wesifus and the boulders here. This is slowing down. No, Salvo, don't walk forward! Oh, just as there was the split second of thinking he might be able to turn, now it's just Albino Joe versus the world. And this is not gourmet. This is Costco sushi, cut up and served, eaten by Big Dirk Energy. And somehow, someway, in 42 minutes, Big Dirk Energy are going to close this one out in a game that no one should feel good about.
You know, we throw the term barn burner around a lot, or it gets thrown around a lot in the greater league sphere. Holy fuck, that's what that game was. That is the actual definition of it for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a complete nightmare of a game. A lot of lessons to be learned from either team, but Big Dirk Energy better learn them faster because they're about to load into a game 3 for tonight. Oh my god. Folks, we're going to go catch our breath. We'll be back in just a few minutes here. Stay tuned. We've got Big Dirk Energy going up against the Briar team, so stay tuned.